Welcome to This Is What I Do, where we explore the work that is waiting to be done here in our community. I'm your host, DJ Hilson, and today we're talking to Nick Davis from the Norton Shores Police Department. Welcome, Nick. We are pleased you're here. We are the Rotary Club of Muskegon, part of Rotary International, a group of more than 1.4 million individuals from around the world whose goal is to create lasting positive change. We've been doing that here in Muskegon since 1916. One of our goals is improving the local economy. This vocational spotlight program assists students in making rewarding career choices. We hope they can remain in our community and improve life here for all of us. That's why we're here today. So Nick, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Good morning. I'm Nick Davis. I work at the Norton Shores Police Department, and currently I serve as one of their community resource officers.
How is it that you arrived at deciding to be a police officer? And maybe talk a little bit about, in that answer, your education and your experience leading up to that decision.
So I've always kind of known I wanted to be a police officer. It's been kind of a lifelong dream. So in high school, I got involved with the Norton Shores Police Department through their cadet program, and then I served with them through college. And then I went to MCC, got my general education there, and then I transferred to Fair State University where I got some more specific credits there, and then went through their police academy.
When did you decide, you know what, I really want to be a police officer?
I think it was about second grade. Me and my best friend who works at, I think he works at the jail now, me and him decided we both wanted to be police officers, and we both never strayed from that. So,
what was it about the job of police officer back in second grade where you went, holy cats, I can see myself, doing this job?
They're kind of like superheroes, and I guess they just do something new every day, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out, and I never wanted to know what the day was going to hold for me, so something new every day kind of really intrigued me.
But what else besides that in your job do you find most interesting?
Being able to get back to my community is a great start, and working inside the schools right now as a community resource officer just really brightens my day. Getting to see kids smile, kids that know me by name and come up and see me in the elementary schools, run up, give me hugs and high fives and knuckle bumps, and kids that are excited to see me at school really make me feel like I've accomplished something.
Tell us what you feel is challenged by the work, or the most challenging part of the job that you do.
I guess the most challenging thing sometimes is being the bearer of bad news. You don't always get to be Santa Claus and bring kids presents and tell them good things. Sometimes there's punishment involved, and I guess sometimes it can be a little rough, but it's part of the job.
So what do you believe is the most difficult part of getting the job that you have now?
I guess the most difficult part of getting the job is partly the training. You have to be in shape, and you have to, work out every day, and you have to have that integrity. Sometimes, like sports, they say on and off the field, you have to practice your craft, and that's one of the things that some people struggle with is training while they're not on duty or at the police academy.
So beyond, obviously, the book work, there's also some physical aspect of it, and it makes sense. I mean, can you describe a little bit of why those physical tests and that physical training is important for the work that you do?
There's always something we got to be doing. If somebody takes off, we got to be able to run. If somebody wants to fight, we got to be strong. So it's kind of trying to stay one step ahead of everybody else in terms of physicality and making sure that we can keep ourselves safe by being in shape.
What do you think is the most challenging part about keeping your job? So, I mean, obviously getting the job is one thing, but then there's that idea of making sure that you maintain that employment. So what's the most challenging part of that?
I would say the most challenging part is having integrity, I guess. It's not something people think so often, but making sure you're out there, and even if you're on a slow night, making sure you're still doing stuff, traffic stops, etc., trying to, serve better when calls aren't happening, because sometimes during the night it gets slow, during the winter it gets slow.
Tell us about how the Norton Shores Police Department values its place in the community and what gets done to show it.
So Norton Shores Police Department, we love our community. The Point Division, which is our community resource division, we specialize in community outreach, and we have police officers in all the schools, all the elementary schools, the middle school, the high school. We hold events, Ride with Pride, where we sponsor the schools, give kids in elementary schools bikes, give kids in high schools cards and mopeds and stuff like that to promote safety and safe driving habits and riding their bikes with helmets.
Well, in my experience, there isn't an event that happens, whether it be in Norton Shores or other places, where we don't see at least one, if not two, Norton Shores police cruisers and a variety of officers making sure that they represent. So appreciate that very much.
Of course.
Tell us about how what you do benefits the rest of us here in our community.
And so, like I said, it's just kind of being a positive look towards police. I don't want kids to be afraid of police officers. Sometimes with the media and how they portray us as bad guys, sometimes it's nice to go out and show the community that we're not awful people, and we do want to help, and we want to look out for their best interests. So when I see kids that are really, they want to be police officers and they smile when they see me, it gives me a good feeling.
So obviously with people, kids, students watching this and maybe having access to some of the more recent portrayals of police officers in the national media, I mean, what message do you have to them as they look at that and say, gosh, why would I want to be a police officer in today's world?
I just think it's confirmation bias, where you see the bad things and you don't see all the good things that happen. You know, you don't see police officers playing basketball with kids on the street as often anymore.
Tell us about the most difficult thing that you encounter on your job and how you deal with it.
Sometimes there's no solution to helping people. You know, sometimes people call the police for arguments they're having, whether it be with a business or their loved ones or their family or just their neighbor. And sometimes I don't have an answer to help them. I can give them advice and I can do everything in my power, but sometimes I'm not the one that can help. So sometimes that's a little tough, but you learn early on that you're not going to be able to help everyone, so you kind of come to terms with that.
We're going to talk a little bit here about life skills, both in and out of work. And character is often described as respect, fairness, caring, trust, and citizenship. How does what you do rely on any of those traits?
Trust especially is a big one. Everyone should be able to trust the police. We are the ones that have the opportunity to, kind of see into people's lives and what's happening. We're privy to information that some people aren't supposed to have. So we are the ones that have to be held accountable when it comes to, trust and keeping that information private.
Again, thinking about the student audience that is going to be watching this, if there are some students out there that are saying, you know what, I want to be just like Nick, what do they have to do in order to prepare for this particular career? The
best advice I can give is get your foot in the door, whether it be ride-alongs, whether it be a cadet program like we have at Norton Shores. There's plenty of police departments out there that do that kind of stuff. And I think that's one good way to get your foot in the door and make your name familiarized to police departments. So if they see your application come in, they go, oh, I know them. They came on a ride-along with us, and they were great.
Now, is there any specific education tracks? In other words, are there specific courses somebody should look into both at the high school and college level that might help them better prepare for this type of position?
So the last couple of days I was at the Career Tech Center here in Muskegon County, and they offer a criminal justice program that allows them to acquire college credits through their class, and it gives them a little bit more of an inside look on police work.
What haven't we talked about that you'd like our student audience to know?
I love my job. I love waking up and going into work, and I think that's one of the best things in the world. So I think this is one of the jobs that it's different every day, and you never know what you're expecting, so I think it kind of makes life interesting. So that's why I would promote police work to anybody.
Well, Nick, as a fellow law enforcement officer, I appreciate you making this commitment, not only to the community, but to the profession. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service, and look forward to seeing great success for you in your career.
Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it.
We thank Nick for sharing his story with us today, and we thank you for joining us. If you think this program might help someone else, please send them the link. And until next time, the Muskegon Rotary Club would like you to consider doing something good for your community.